1, 2.
Welcome to the Mental Reps podcast, featuring your host, Brian Wright. This week's episode is sponsored by the Field Irish Pub Eatery, a little piece of island in South Florida, and Lilli Schipper of Lokation Real Estate.
What's up, y'all? My name is Ian Edwards.
Hey, this is comedian Brett Ernst.
Hi, this is Kurt Metzger.
This is Pablo Francisco.
Hi, everybody. I'm Eric Reed, the TV play-by-play voice of the Miami Heat.
Hey, I'm Ron McGill, Goodwill Ambassador here at Zoo Miami.
Hello, this is radio's Paul Castronovo, an aging teen idol, and you're listening to the Mental Reps podcast with Brian Wright. Do me a favor, keep your head on a swivel, you goofball, you.
Now fade out that fresh-ass beat, and let's get this bitch on the road.
Welcome to Mental Reps Podcast live at the Field Irish Pub and Eatery. Thank y'all so much for coming out.
Yeah.
Appreciate you guys. It's so fun to come here. The incredible staff. Huge thank you to the incredible staff here. We got like an incredible staff. Anthony, Sean, everybody who's taking care of us. We appreciate you. Ryan's out there. We love you guys. Honestly, one of the official sponsor of Mental Reps Podcast, and it's for a reason. We love this place. We love the people. They're awesome. Our other fantastic sponsor, Lilli Schipper of Lokation Realty. Everybody say hi to Lilli over there.
Yeah.
One of South Florida's premier real estate agents. If you need somebody to help you navigate this insane real estate market down here, she is the one. And hit up, it's Lilli Schipper, Lilli Schipper. That's very important because I messed that up. What's up, bud?
Just turn down the front fill all the way it's this one.
Okay, we can do that.
It's a little dial, though. Front fill.
All right.
Got it. Thank you.
I think, is that okay, guys? We can always tweak that a little bit throughout the night. I'm going to do my best to make sure the speakers, because they're all set at different volumes, we're going to do the best to handle that. And also Lilli's husband, Jason, he's a teacher. This guy's a good man, and he's out there educating our youths. He's not now, it's summertime. Summertime, yeah, drink the beer. Now's the time for that. But we have quite a bit planned. We're going to get to know a lot more about our guests, lots of topics and events to cover and whatnot. But something I like to do, most hosts don't like to do this because we're all control freaks, and that's just the way it goes. But I like when the audience helps direct things. What does that mean? I have a microphone set up right here in the audience, and here's the deal. You can come up at any time, ask a question, even if you just have a topic that you guys want us to take for a spin. Come on up. Don't be afraid. We're all on the same page here. We're all on the same team and just want to have fun. But I love when you guys get involved. Come up on that microphone and do not be shy. Look at Pam. She's ready to go. All right. Really quick, myself, I'm Brian Wright. I'm the host of Mental Reps Podcast, and you may have heard me on the radio or see me do some shows around here. I do some voiceovers. You can find out more about me online if you want. I want to introduce you to some great people. First off, Pam Bruno. Pam is the 2015 winner of Ultimate Miami Comedian. Give it up for her right now. Magic City Casino. She's appeared on Comedy Central, Kevin Hart's Heart in the City, and was named Miami News Times Best Comedian 2017. I met her when she was doing a set at one of my shows, and where she absolutely leveled the place. I know we always say words like that in comedy. It's like, oh, they killed the place. She leveled this place. There was literally people on the floor. When I say that, there was a dude on the floor. She's an incredible comedian. She's got a new book, and she's a cartoonist called Why Wait? Laugh Now. It's out and available on Amazon. I highly suggest you go pick it up. Ladies and gentlemen, please give a big round of applause to Pam Bruno. How cute and adorable is she as well?
What?
I said, how cute and adorable is she as well?
Oh, I didn't know about the guy who was on the floor. I wish I would have known at the time.
I have video of it.
Tell me.
I have video of it.
I know, but it's too late to do anything about it.
But she is, I was kind of taken back because I believe that you went up before the feature, and I had people coming up to me throughout the night, like, Pam should have headlined. Like, Pam should have been the headliner. She just made everybody look like shit pretty much because she went up and leveled the place. But so happy to have Pam here with us. I've been wanting to have her on for a while. My other guest here,
Thank you.
Carl Rimi. He's a award-winning actor. Give it up to Carl Rimi. Acting, award-winning actor, comedian, writer, producer. He's direct shit. He's been working stand-up over 20 years all over the country. Performed on cruise ships too, which is a really tough gig. You have to be really good at what you do in order to survive that shit. I met Carl the same way.
Or really drunk.
Yeah, or really drunk. Yes, and it's the 7 C's. Anything goes. But same thing with him. I met him at one of my shows. Exact same thing. He actually featured for me, and they were saying he should have headlined. This guy is insane. He's also in a bunch of movies. You've been in like over 50 commercials, 20 short films, 8 or 9 feature films, and he has a new movie coming out called iPossessed. Please welcome my man Carl Rimi, everybody. Give it up for Carl Rimi.
Thank you.
Look at this dude. He's even got the shirt on. He's ready to go. He's in like advertisement mode already. I love it. I've been lucky enough to have these two grace the stage with me in comedy shows. They're both so fucking funny, and I really admire the hell out of the way that you both navigate the comedy scene, and not putting too much pressure on you to be funny tonight or anything, but yeah, don't feel that pressure. But first off, Carl, I of course want to get into all the details about your movie coming out and everything else and what's going on. But first, I just want to ask you a little bit about comedy. Let's get right into it. You're a busy guy. You do a lot of different things, acting, producing, writing, comedy. But don't lie, nothing compares to that feeling when you're up on stage and you're crushing and the whole crowd is going ape shit. Like, try and describe that compared to anything. How do you really enjoy anything else when you get that on a regular basis?
All right, this is sorry, table one. You look like you walked into this, didn't expect to have people talking while you're enjoying your dinner. Like this little guy's like, really, Mom, Dad? Really?
I just wanted some shepherd's
if
pie.
I'm talking too loud or I annoy you, just let me know. Sorry about that. That's your sister. Okay. Thank you. All right.
You can take the mic out too if you want, man. If it's more comfortable.
No,
you know?
it's just fine.
Okay.
It's fine. Well, to answer your question, I'm gonna have a different take on comedy than I think a lot of people will. Like, because you say crushing on stage, is that the feeling, what it feels like? And I think at first, when you're doing stand-up comedy, or you've been doing it for a few years, there comes a certain point, I think, in a comic's life. I'm not sure. I can't speak for everybody. Is that you kind of forget about, like, you don't acknowledge the fact, like, I'm very neurotic, I'm very insecure, so I come off, whether crush or not, I don't know, I never use those words, but I say that was horrible, usually 9 times out of 10. Ask my girlfriend over there.
Yeah.
I'll come off and be like, that was horrible, and I'll be like, were they even laughing back here? So my take on crushing every night is I don't know, I wouldn't know what it feels like.
Dude, that's so funny that like entertainers in general seem to have that issue. We'd all like to be able to be in the moment and appreciate it more, but it seems to be like a mindset you have to be in order to get there.
And it's also good and bad, is because like if I have a bad show where it's just horrible, the crowd's not with me or anything, I can forget about that show as soon as I walk off stage.
Yeah, that's true.
So it doesn't linger into my mind. So but that goes the other way. Like if I have a good show, I forget about it as soon as I walk off stage, so it doesn't linger.
What about you, Pam?
I'm the exact opposite. Especially if the show didn't go well, I will obsess over every moment that didn't hit or wasn't quite right. Not enough to change my act, but just enough to upset my life.
Yeah, I get that.
I mean, it's so bizarre to hear Carl talk about times that he thought his set was horrible, because I have never yet heard him have a horrible set. Never, ever.
Come tomorrow night, 8 p.m.
Yeah, by the way, Carl's,
he's right.
Carl's going to be on stage here tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Shamrock Comedy Club.
This guy's spot on. This guy's horrible. He'll be here, right, Junior? Bring your sister.
I'm trying to convince Pam to come out and do a little guest set tomorrow night. I don't think
I'm not going to perform with Carl. That just shows you how good he's so good that people are afraid to perform on stage with him.
She's not wrong. She's not wrong about that. But so...
Are you like mentally ill that you don't even know how good you are?
Are we all, Pam?
See, I love that. Like, just not give a fuck. Just come right out and say it. That's great. So where do you guys feel like, how do you feel about where comedy is going right now? What are some things that you're happy to see happening in the scene or with comics in general? What are some bad habits that you see developing that you think comedians need to keep an eye on? Especially in the time that we're living right now, where it seems like a lot of comedians are worried about what they are saying and how it's going to be perceived, and how you go about that, like in modern society.
Yeah, it's. I'll let Pam go first on her take, and then I'll probably contradict whatever she says.
It's different for me because at my age I can get away with more stuff than young people because they're like, oh, isn't that cute, that old lady talking about this? She's like, I can't picture my grandmother saying that stuff. So in that sense,
so your whole chunk on black dicks is not expected at all. It's just like comes out of nowhere.
Sorry about that earmuff.
Yeah, I can't believe that Brian would mention such a topic to me. Especially when I told him not to mention it before.
No. But
I'm kidding.
It's
I can talk about black dicks.
Well, let me ask
you can. Bam.
Let me ask you, Brian.
Black dicks?
About black dicks. I was always fascinated.
Yes.
No, I was wondering because you see a lot of comics come through. Do you see comics editing their sets nowadays?
I see. I'll tell you this. It seems like I've been happy to see that people are doubling down, but it's good. And I try not to get bad comedians up here. Sometimes you see they always try. That's part of the job. You got to try and see if it works. But I've been happy to see, at least from people that I'm putting on my shows, that they're doubling down, but in a good way, and trying to make sure that it's smart, maybe add a little intellectual to it, and try to make sure that it's.
And I think that 9 times out of 10, the people that actually go to a comedy show are open to pretty much anything.
Yeah.
Because if you're not, then what are you doing here? And usually you can get away with, because I haven't experienced yet cancel culture. I'm not big enough to be canceled.
Oh, how dare
I'd
you.
love to get there.
How dare you.
I want to
well,
get
after
there. Just
iPossessed
so I
comes out, then it might be a little different.
We're hoping.
Mm-hmm.
We'll talk more about that. But yeah, it's like there's no fear in a comic like me to where if I offend a place, then I'll go somewhere else.
Yeah. That's kind of the beautiful place that you can get to. And your career early on, you're like a little worried and like, I better not do that. I'm going to limit my opportunities. And you can get to a point where you're like, if this is not your brand, then that's cool with me. It doesn't even bother me. It's totally fine with me, as a matter of fact, but I'm going to keep doing my thing, and you guys can keep doing your thing, and we'll all be happy. I want to talk a little bit more about comedy. We're going to do that, but real quick, I want to talk about Carl's new flick coming out, iPossessed. Tell us a little bit about the movie, whatever you can. Tell us, do you have a release date, all that good stuff?
Well, actually, we filmed. Basically, what the premise is, in a nutshell, it's very more complicated, and it's a horror psychological thriller. But the premise is they go to this haunted house. There's a house that's haunted. 5 main people go there, and throughout the night, they're haunted by their own secrets that they carry inside them. So the demons that are inside of them start to come out, and so the individuals start to see what's happening. We do have a demon in the movie, but it's not a demon film. Somebody does get possessed by a demon, but it's not about the demon, it's about the actual individuals.
I like that distinction.
House.
There are demons, but it's not about the demons.
There is a demon. So you're basically watching these characters, and you're like 40 minutes into the film, and you're like, if you haven't seen a trailer, you don't know what it's about, you're like, what's wrong with this particular person? You're like, okay, things are happening that's very weird right now. And then all of a sudden, we throw a demon at you. It's like, wait a second, there's a demon? This is a demon movie? That's basically what I think the audience is going to feel like.
I like that.
This is a really creepy feeling paced movie, and then, wait, it's a demon movie? Okay, but they're not trying to get rid of the demon. And then things start to happen through.
Okay, now I'm intrigued. What the hell?
And actually, one of my actors are here. My director's here.
What's
Jerry
up, guys?
Summer.
Introduce them real
Tammy Lee
quick.
Boothby is my actress. She plays Tara in the film. She's also a producer with me on the film.
Nice.
And Jerry Summer is my director on the film,
Awesome.
and he's actually our editor. And he does play a role in the film as well.
Awesome, I love it.
Yeah, and there's a whole story why he's playing a role in it.
Does anybody want to come up and tell me, like on the microphone there, like what Carl is like on set? Like, what's it like working with Carl on a movie set?
All right, so I've been working with Carl for what, about 10 years?
Yeah.
Met Carl actually at a comedy show. He was my headliner. And
love
so I've worked, we've done what, about 5-6 projects already together?
Oh, easily.
So this particular project, Carl had to get into a mindset of playing a, I guess, retired Army Ranger sniper.
It suffers
who
from
has-
PTSD.
Yeah, suffers from PTSD.
Ooh.
So that kind of, so he has this opposite personality of who Carl usually is. So
You're
to get
snapping at people on set and shit.
Oh, yeah. Well, let's just say it wasn't my. I like the beard. We still have one more scene to shoot with the beard, so we're kind of. That's why I still have it on.
Okay.
But yeah, I was a different person, to say the least, on set. It wasn't. I didn't joke a lot.
Yeah, no, he
To
he
the
was
normal.
definitely not.
So you're like more of a method acting, but not quite like the.
Yeah, not straight up method acting, just in the moment. Just
Okay.
trying to stay in that moment.
I got that. Cool. Very
Yeah.
cool. I like
No,
that.
yeah, he has snapped a couple times.
Yeah.
And you're like,
Well,
damn,
we
dude.
Well, I was also co-directing, so I was kind of like.
You're really
in
taking
the
this whole
mix.
acting shit pretty seriously.
I was in
Yeah.
the mix with him, and we were going back and forth, and we have to troubleshoot, while we're on set as
Very
well.
cool.
So troubleshooting and acting at the same time
Yeah,
can
very
be
challenging.
a bit of a challenge.
I liked all your Instagram posts and everything that you're posting, all the behind the scenes
Thanks.
stuff.
I'll show you
is-
some good secret stuff. we
Yeah.
can't
Oh,
post
hell
yet.
yeah. Cool. For sure. You got to show me that. But because it's interesting, like anybody who's never been on like a film set, setting up shots, the whole production thing, lighting, I mean, post-production, all these things that are going on behind the scenes people don't know. It's actually really nice to finally be sitting next to a fellow actor in the arts. I had a powerful performance as extra number 78 in Transporter 2.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I try not to brag about it
no,
too
I
much. It was a
remember.
2-day shoot, no big deal.
I remember.
But yeah.
No, it is funny when you do shoot a film and you tell people that you are shooting a film. And basically, we shot for 24 days in Lake Placid, Florida. And we still have 2 more scenes because they're different locations. That's why we're kind of waiting, because I need to find those locations. But people, as soon as we started shooting, so when can we see it? Is it going to be on Netflix?
Yeah.
Like, there's a whole process that takes. That's why when The Rock's shooting something, like he's been shooting The Jungle Queen for like 3 years right now. So it's just coming out.
Yeah.
So it's like there's a whole process. Not saying it's going to take 3 years, but there's a lot of backstory within any movie. That's why when you see an actor that has 4 movies out at the same time, you're like, what is this guy just working all the time?
Yeah.
You're like, but
Yeah.
no, he shot those probably in 3 different years. You never know.
Yeah.
So it's interesting.
Yeah, and it takes a while. It's labor intensive. I mean, I watched Space Jam the other night, and my head, it was hurting just thinking about the logistics behind all the animation and all the things going on in the background that nobody even knows is going on. I'm just like,
Right.
I can only imagine just like the sheer hours of work that went into this.
But think about a movie like that with their budget and the amount of crew they had. We had a very, very tight-knit crew. We had about 20, 25 people as a crew, actors and whatnot, but which is bigger for a normal indie kind of local film or whatever, but it's not enough. It's never enough.
Yeah.
And the process is crazy, and the things you have to pay attention to, wearing multiple hats on a smaller crew.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. But it's got to be fun. It's kind of like I used to do construction, and I kind of equate it to this when I create anything. Like, we're kind of creating this out of thin air. It's from our imaginations, or we're putting it out there. But to be able to have like this tangible thing to be like, we made that, and so you
that's
have
the
it
thing.
forever.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I always say that, right? I'm like, this is stand-up is that night.
Yes.
It's like, yeah, it was fine that night.
Same
Those
thing with
people,
radio. It's
right?
so funny.
What we did here will be around forever, good or bad. It doesn't matter. You guys accomplished something.
Yes.
That's why anybody who's made a film, that's taken their time, that's put that effort in. It's like, God bless you, because it's not easy.
Well, I'll tell you this, man. Even though I was telling Pam before we started, like, I'm a scaredy cat. I don't generally like horror movies, and my girlfriend's gonna laugh because I just I don't know. I think it's something inside. I was brought up religious, and my mom, God love her, and don't you dare say a bad word about her. She's a saint. But she used to make us turn the channel when a psychic would come on TV. Like, we weren't allowed to watch Scooby-Doo, okay? Like, that's how my household was growing up. And as an adult, obviously, you come out. But I still have little remnants of, you said, there's a demon in the movie. I'm I'm not trying to invite that kind of stress in my life, dude. Because I saw, after I walked out of I think it was Saw 3, I was like, what am I doing to myself? Because I'm too stressed out. But I love thriller movies like What Lies Beneath, with Michelle Pfeiffer and Harrison Ford, stuff like that. I'm about it. But for some reason, when it comes, I would go skydive 100 times before I watch The Exorcist. I'm broken inside. I know this.
It's funny you say that because Jerry's like that.
Yeah.
Jerry is a religious person.
Yeah.
We were talking about this when he read the script and what we were doing with it. But there's a light at the end of the tunnel. This is not, there's a message to this. This is not, we are here to possess people, kill them. And this is all more of what's inside human beings. And not
sound like a true demon over there, Carl.
Exactly.
Jesus.
Well, I've had a lot of demons. I told you I did cruise ships for 10 years. But it's like my girlfriend over there, and she grew up very, very religious. Her parents and her friends and stuff, and she's even afraid of horror movies, and she's going to be closing her eyes when she watches herself on screen.
I'll be right there with you.
Which I think that's entertaining to me. But we all kind of got together and knew that this was more than just that. It's not that.
Yeah, that's cool.
To be honest with you.
I'm going to check it out, man. My curiosity is piqued, and no matter what, obviously, because you're in it, but just hearing a lot about it, I'm going to check it out. I'm looking forward. So you're thinking 2022 maybe?
Yeah, definitely. But we will have a private screening, and you will be invited.
Oh, thank you so much,
too,
man.
Well, that's what I wanted to ask you really quick. It's not the type of movie that you have to watch in daylight, is it? I mean, will I be afraid to go to sleep after watching it?
Hopefully.
Okay. All right,
if we did our job.
Maybe I'll have a few
Be warned.
Yes, I think yes and no. I think if you like heady movies, if you like thinking movies, because every piece of dialogue leads to the next scene and next scenes and scenes. So everything is foreshadowing everything. So it's kind of it's going to be one of those movies where you go, I have to watch that again that's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Cool.
And it all kind of comes together. So
I like that.
Yeah. So it's not that we're trying to scare you or make it gory or anything. It's just
it's not for the sake of being scary.
There's nothing that is forced like
cool.
that.
I like that, man. All right, cool. I'm so happy for you guys.
Yeah.
I mean, you're doing it. You're making movies. You're doing your
exciting.
thing. I fucking love it. I love it.
Well,
I want to talk.
cool.
We'll talk more about it. I just have to
Yeah.
get to Pam really
Yeah.
quick because Pam has a new
She's
book.
going to fall asleep.
That's
We don't want to.
We got to get her to bed.
Can we get some insurer over here? No, Pam, how dare you? She's got a new book, and it's great. It's called Why Wait Laugh Now, a cartoon stories written and illustrated by Pam Bruno. I love Indy and I, were we not sitting and reading through this and just loving it? And there was one in particular that we saw I want to get to in a second, but really quick, how long did it take for you to write it? I know that you said it was kind of a process.
I wrote the first story 40 years ago. And I thought, Dave, did you want to say
Did you want
something?
to have a question real quick?
Well, I'm surprised you remember my name. I just wanted to tell you, Pam and I had the privilege of appearing on stage with Pam one night at the Astor Hotel when I was doing stand-up.
I remember that.
You do? And Kyle Grooms from the Chappelle
Oh,
Show.
yeah,
and
Kyle Grooms,
In Miami. Well, I can't remember the name of the place.
The Astor Hotel.
Astor. Oh, yeah.
Down in the basement, a real nice place. There was the place with no stage. Like you just stood on the floor,
Well,
like everybody sat on the floor.
How many of those did we go to? A lot
I
of.
remember Kyle came up and he goes, "Where's the effing stage?" It was just flat on the floor.
You can say
You
fucking.
did a very good job.
Just say fucking. It's okay.
I didn't mean to interrupt
Oh no, please, man. Anytime. Come on up at any time, especially with that shirt on, dude. I mean, it's a welcome. Welcome.
I'm going to Chili's after.
Baby back, baby back. Yeah, I love it.
But anyway, you did a tremendous job. And what I remember about that night, I didn't know who she was, and I just saw this woman standing over in the corner with her notes and going over everything, and she was.
I think she had like a pencil coming out of her hair.
No.
Okay, fair enough.
I mean, I always had a notebook and a pen with me.
Maybe it was a pen. Sorry.
But you did.
That's how confident I am that I used a pen instead of a pencil. I'm kidding.
You did very good that night. It was really fun
Oh,
to be on
thank
stage
you.
with you.
She's a beast,
thank
isn't she? She's so funny. So funny.
Thank
But yeah,
you.
you can see that.
I didn't mean to contradict you. Yes, I had
No.
a pencil in my hair.
Stop it. You can contradict me all you need.
Forget that's not good.
Sometimes I'm an asshole and I
with
say things that
improv.
aren't right. You got to correct me, Pam.
All right. I mean, improv is supposed to be yes and, or you have people hating you. So
No.
that's
But-
what life is.
But back to the book really quick. So 40 years ago,
Oh,
you
yeah.
wrote your rights.
I wrote the
first
first
story.
story, and I thought, this, I would love it if this was a book. And I showed it to a bunch of people, and everyone liked it. And then I showed it to a publisher recently, and they're like, are you kidding me? That's only 20 pages. And so I had to take the rest of the year to fill in, and now it's 100 pages.
Yeah,
So-
buddy. You were doing that during COVID, right?
Yeah.
Pardon me.
Did you draw those drawings yourself?
Oh, yeah. If you see them, you'll
Oh,
know
yeah.
that I did. Yeah. And, you know, when somebody said how great they are artistically, I'm
me
like, are
see.
you blind?
Oh yeah, you
They're
drew
like-
them.
But yeah. But no, they're so like they're genuine, right? Like you can
Definitely
tell that they're
genuine.
super genuine,
Wow,
which
these
makes
are
them
great.
endearing. Aren't they great?
They're way better than my storyboards. Trust me.
Yeah.
In fact, I'm gonna have you draw up my
draw
next
your
storyboards.
storyboards.
I want everybody obviously to get the book and check it out for
brought
yourself. And she brought some that anybody who would like some pick it up. But one that stood out to us, Indy and I, as we were going through it, was the story about your father's funeral.
Oh.
Would
that's a
you
good one.
mind sharing that
Gee,
story?
I could read it if you want. I don't know.
Okay. Because your
This
father.
this turned into a night of reading
Yeah.
by the author.
Yeah.
which-
We're all
the-
going
we
to
got
sit
the
around like
kids
we're in
here.
your kindergarten class and you can just read to it.
I don't know if it will translate. I mean, I actually did use it as a joke in my set a few times.
Well, I'll set it
So-
up this way because the reason it caught my eye was your father used to go to Jehovah's Witness meetings, and I was brought up
Oh,
at
you
Jehovah's
were?
Witness. Hence the problems with
Oh, no
watching scary
way.
movies and shit.
No way.
Still, yeah, but no, I it caught my eye, and yeah, please read if
All
you
right,
want
well,
to. Go ahead and read.
I'll try to just tell you the story because
Yeah.
unless you're looking at the page, it's kind of boring. So, my dad was a very sociable guy, and he used to go with my brother and his wife, my brother's wife, to Jehovah's Witness meetings. My dad was born and raised Jewish, so he had zero idea what they were talking about at the meetings. But every time they would go out after the meetings and have something to eat, and that was actually his favorite part of the whole night. And everybody loved him. When he died, they made an exception, and they allowed his funeral to be held at the Jehovah's Witness Kingdom Hall.
That stood out to me, which is because they
That's
don't normally
unheard
do that
of.
unless you're like in the club, like
Well-
they're not letting you have your funeral there because that's kind of a big deal.
Yeah.
So the fact that they let him do that, which means that they had to have loved the guy.
They
and
loved
he had a
him.
good heart and stuff.
And so, like 300 people showed up. I mean, I guess they had to because that was their Kingdom Hall. But the thing is, what they thought they knew my dad, but what they did not know about him was that he had an identical twin who showed up in his best black suit, sitting right in the middle of the whole crowd, totally oblivious to everybody freaking out around him. And they were like, my dad's name was Saul, and they were like, Saul, you're alive? What's going on? And they were just freaking out. and like I said, my uncle, whose name was Walter, he just didn't even notice what was happening. Now at the time, it was kind of weird for me to see him too, because they were identical. And so I was really mourning, and it was really tough to see my uncle sitting there when I wish it was my dad instead. He should have, no, never mind.
Should have been him.
It should have been him, no. But anyway, so the thing is, I was thinking, in retrospect, my dad had such a good sense of humor. He would have thought that was hilarious. Like Weekend at Bernie's in reverse. So anyway, I look at that now as my favorite funeral ever.
I love that. That's a good little, I love that story. I love that story.
No, you were Jehovah's Witness.
Yeah, I know. And it's funny, I don't, listen, I never bash, because it's like, it's not about that. I try not to, they're good people. If you're a good person, you use whatever means you have to try and be the best version of yourself or whatever. I don't care. But at any point, in or outside religion, if you use that as a means to judge people and look down at people, you think that your thoughts are in line with God's and everybody else is just tripping. There's some negative aspects that, again, that goes back to just people and how they operate. But in the organization, got out of that in the early 20s and just kind of... it's interesting, though. One thing I do really like that I took and actually talked about with Kurt Metzger on the podcast that came out this morning, because he used to be a Jehovah's Witness as well, is it was nice coming out of and being a child and being taught, hey, just because everybody's doing this thing, it's okay that you don't. And actually, you can take pride or a solace in the fact that, you're good. Just because everybody's doing that thing doesn't mean you have to. So when people would come up to us and be... Again, if you want to come to our birthday party, you want to come to Christmas, and we'd be like, no, we're good. They'd be like, seriously? And we just dealt with that our whole lives. So going into adulthood and coming out of the religion, but still being able to take things like that along with you, I think that it's good, and something I enjoy about, or at least I take solace in the fact that, we learn something. But yeah, it was an interesting upbringing. I know it's very different than most people think, but oftentimes they're kind of misconstrued. Most people think witnesses aren't allowed to even drink alcohol or anything. That's not true.
Oh, that is definitely not true.
Yeah, exactly. See, she gets it.
My brother, my dad never really became a Jehovah's Witness. But one thing you're saying now that I thought is interesting, does everything have to be funny or no? I was thinking that even though growing up, I didn't even know about that religion until I was in my late 30s. But when my brother became one, I thought, oh, he's just thinking with the group. But now that you say this, that the group is so different from the rest of society, it's actually that you're learning to think for yourself and have your own opinion.
That's the idea of how it should kind of, yeah. And you can.
It sounds good.
No, I see. I again, like I said before, I'd never ever bash. Obviously, I'm not part of the religion anymore, but there's good people in there. It's just, it's not for me. And whatever anybody's got to do to make themselves the best version of themselves.
Make you feel good. Do it.
Yeah, go for it, man. Go do a Hail Mary and do whatever it is you got to do. But really quick, just because I want to, make sure that we get to as much as we can. Pam, you have done some acting work as well, because we're talking about Carl being an actor. Did you said that you were on the Kevin Hart show? Did you ever get to meet him, or was it just, how'd that go?
That was great. I did no acting, though. We just did stand-up. What happened was he had a show called Heart of the City, and he went around the country, and I'm not sure why they picked me, because when he introduced us at the show, he goes, the purpose of this show is to introduce new, young talent. And I'm sitting there going, did they make a mistake?
How dare they?
But in any case, we got to perform, and he came out early in the day and took us all to lunch and interviewed all of us at, I can't remember, it was a Caribbean restaurant in Miami. But very nice. He was a very nice guy, and it was fun.
I had a
really
good time
fun.
doing it.
Yes.
Not like really a whole lot of acting outside of that though, or like you said, you were doing stand up or even on that set.
On that set,
Yeah, okay.
My big acting career was one commercial that I had a year ago, Simply Healthcare, where I played twins. That's the only commercial they ever let me talk. 'Cause I guess as soon as they heard me talk, they're like, "You'll be good way over in the back there." So.
Oh, how dare you! No, that's cool. Okay, so you got a little, but this whole pandemic is kind of throwing everybody through a loop. I know that you were actively doing comedy then, but you're not doing a whole lot right now. Are you considering getting back into it? I've been pushing for her to get back into it. I'm trying to convince her.
It's not that I don't love it, but I love going to bed early now. So that's the thing. I would stay up way too late, and I've gotten the habit of, okay, it's 9 o'clock. I'm starting to get ready for bed.
Right there with you, sister.
All right.
Doesn't that sound awesome? Oh my God, going to bed at 9
is
o'clock.
great.
So you got to figure it out. Well, let's tell everybody a little bit more about your backgrounds. Like, let's first start with Carl. Where were you born? What was the family life like? Siblings, all that good stuff.
Oh, okay, yeah. Before we do that, the guy that came up with the chili shirt, that's Mike Grogan. He's actually got a film out now called Jerry Curls.
Nice.
He's the lead in it. He was actually on South Beach Tow too, if you recognize him, if he looks familiar to you. He was the main on South Beach Tow.
Yes, I remember.
I had some people from South Beach Tow follow me on Twitter, and I was like, oh, that's cool. I followed them back. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, so Jerry Curls on. We saw it on Amazon Prime the other day, so you want to catch that.
Nice.
All right, just want to give you a plug.
I like that.
Or
Nice.
Xfinity on demand. Xfinity on demand.
I like that. I like that.
Cool. So where I was born here in South Florida.
A native, that's rare, man.
I know, right?
Dude,
Yeah, right. You too.
We're rare.
Yeah. People are like, "Why do you have an accent?" I'm from the South, man.
Yeah.
Further south than the South.
It's the South of the South.
I'm from the South.
Yeah.
Wait a second.
True South.
Yeah. So I started stand up in the '90s when I was like 24. No, I was 20. I don't even remember. It was a long time ago.
No.
And then eventually, like you said, I got on cruise ships after about 5-6 years in. And then started doing cruise ships. I did that for 10 years. And this is where it gets rough, kids. I had a bit of a drinking problem. So I wanted to change myself and quit drinking. And the way to do it was to stop doing cruise ships.
Good call.
It was a good way to do it. So
That makes sense.
I sobered up with the help of a hospital and
a team.
And then I was like, I gotta get my life together. You know, I gotta find my soul after doing stand up for so long. It's just I got lost, and I felt like I had a different purpose to, and I always wanted to delve into acting and. I started out like that. I said, I'm going to be an actor. I don't know how I'm going to do it. I'm just going to be an actor. I'm focused. And I didn't know how to do stand-up when I was back in the 90s, but I figured out how to do it. I figured out how to make a living doing it. So I started doing some stuff, got into some shorts, and started just, doing some, acting classes or whatever, just to network and stuff. Start meeting people. I met people like Jerry, who we acted in probably over 10 things. And then we just did 4 Kia commercials together. But started doing that, and then I was like, I didn't know I could do it, but I started to write, and then I bought the program, Final Draft, and I was like, well, I can actually write a script. I can write dialogue. Interesting. Okay, so let me try writing a script. So I wrote a film, like a script 5 years
Something
ago.
you wouldn't have had the time to do if you were still...
Exactly. I wouldn't have been, there's no way my focus wouldn't have been there. I was drinking all day and partying at night and repeat on doing shows and stuff, which for the life of a rock star and a rock star stand-up comedian is good, but there's no longevity in it. You know? Like it's fun for a while. And then
you're sitting there on the Lido deck after your last show, rethinking
and you're
things.
alone, rethinking all the moves that you should have made.
Yeah.
And and that carnival horn is going off. You're like, I gotta get off this. Jeez, that Fun Ship Freddy's in costume. Get out of here! You punch him in the face.
Yeah.
So then I wrote a script called Ghost Killers a while back, and I was like, oh, this is pretty good. It was a comedy horror film, and I wanted to get it made. So I'm like, I've been the lead in a few feature films. I've been the lead in a lot of short films. I've done a lot of commercials and bigger commercials. So I've been on set with a lot of big sets and stuff. And I always see them doing stuff wrong, and I'm like, they're half-assing it and not taking it seriously. And I'm like, well, I want to take this seriously. I know where I want to find people that share my passion. So I wanted to shoot that script initially, but it calls for a higher budget. So I had another script that I was working on. There's a whole backstory to that, but I don't want to bore you with it. That turned out to be this one, where it was a one-house psychological thriller, which me and my girlfriend were talking. We're like, hey, let's fund this ourselves. You know, we could probably do this. We could probably raise enough money ourselves.
Let's Passion of the Christ this bitch. Like, just do it ourselves,
exactly.
man.
So which basically we couldn't raise enough money for ourselves. So we have a partner. But we had people
that happens.
We had people that come on. Like I asked Jerry. I said, Jerry, can you read this script? And he came back and it was like half comedy, half horror. And he's like, well, what is this? And I was like, what do you mean, what is this? And he goes, we got to pick a lane. What do we want to do? So I'm not changing the script, bro. After about like 10 minutes of me going, fuck that guy. Whatever.
Take your little chili pepper T-shirt. Get the fuck out of here.
I go, you're right. I got to rewrite this. So 3 months or 2.5 months before we're gonna shoot this. We're all set up to shoot. I have my location. COVID hit. I was gonna shoot a year before. COVID hit and postponed us, which was the best thing that could have happened to us. Because then I brought Jerry on.
Blessing in disguise.
Got rid of some people, some bad people in our lives. I won't name any names. And
Jim,
and got
Pam. Those are the office people. Why is that?
And started doing stand-up and promoting the movie at the end of my stand-up, selling shirts to raise money for the movie. I sold my car.
I remember you selling. I
sold my car for the
yeah.
movie. I was like, we're gonna do this because, for one, if everybody talks, I'm gonna make a movie. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do. Nobody's gonna. I wrote this script. Nobody's gonna shoot your film. Nobody's gonna shoot. Trust me. I don't care how good your script is. Nobody's, especially in South Florida, nobody's gonna take it in Hollywood. Yeah. There's thousands of scripts.
Does it have an Avenger in it?
There's
no.
Thousands,
okay.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. There's thousands of good scripts that are out there. Our script, I feel, is great, but I'm like, we're gonna shoot it. I know how I want it done. I know exactly the way I want it. I'm not gonna have somebody tell me, no, I want it this way. No. So me and Jerry were pretty much one mind on this thing. Me, Jerry, and Tammy went through the entire script, broke it down word by word, and made it like 30 pages less to where it's 88 pages long. All the points are there, all the targets are there. It paces well. So we're like ready to shoot, right? So then I'm doing shows and stuff, and I'm selling shirts and stuff, and I'm meeting people after the show, and I pitch them that I'm doing a movie. I have guys coming up to me, hey, I'd like to help out. I'm like, well, what do you do? You know, meeting real good guys. We found one guy, Albert Nichols, who ends up being our gaffer, and and on set he was like a genius. And he just wanted to be a part of it, you know, because I'm paying these guys, but not a lot.
Yeah.
Not, Screen Actors Guild money, Avengers money.
They're bought in, though.
Enough to live off the month and whatever. But these guys are coming in because they want to be part of something that's special. I give them the script, and they read it, and they're like, I want to be a part of this. So we pretty much got the team we wanted. We were like, we just hire character and teach skill.
Yeah.
You know, so because we have to live together for a month. We have to be together for a month. We don't
That's the
want to
layover test in radio. They say if you have to go and do a gig somewhere and you're going to have to go with somebody and you know you're going to have a layover, are you going to be able to handle that person on the layover? It's the layover test, yeah.
And we all stayed together for a month. Shot. We got the coverage we wanted. There was zero problems as far as you would think on a set. When we actually got our gear from the place in Tampa, when we were there, he's like, okay, we'll see you guys in a month. You know, because the gear place usually sees these productions go out and they come back in like, you know, things are broken and stuff. So we came back and he's like, you guys are in the best spirits I've ever seen anybody, a crew, in a long time.
That's cool, man.
Yeah, so it's like, and it's like we were a weekend shooting this thing and going, everybody on set was like, we're shooting something good.
Yeah.
Like everybody knew it. And when you know your cook and everybody just wants to give more because you know you're shooting something good, you're like, everybody's on board with this.
Yeah,
you know?
that's a good feeling.
It's a great feeling, and it's like, and we were getting like happy accidents all the time. Like we had a rain problem or whatever. We had to move a scene. We had to get a Jeep that we didn't have a Jeep, and then the owner of that place we were staying at got a Jeep, a perfect Jeep, like red, beautiful. I had a guy I did a show that worked in Lake Placid, was the local carpenters out there. They built stuff. They have their own company. He goes, I want to help out. Didn't want any money. Pay for his labor. He built our breakaway tables. He built us a harness to lift. He built us a breakaway mirror, like all this stuff. They just built a
Life
closet
finds
we
a
needed.
way, dude. I love it.
Yeah. So all these people came together and helped us out, and I felt like, man, I don't feel like this film can fail, you know. And I feel like what we shot is going to be fantastic, and that's the thing. It's like that's what led me to this point. All that bad stuff in my life led me to this point, and all the stuff I did in acting and whatever. And that's why I feel like I love comedy, I love stand-up comedy, but I feel like this is where I want to be. You know, I feel like I'll still do stand-up. I'll always do stand-up because I love stand-up, but I don't love it as much as I love making movies.
That's cool, man. Good for you for being able to know yourself like that and be able to identify it. It sounds like you've really, over the years, honed in on exactly what it is that you want to do.
It's not about just making movies for ego. Like we don't want to send it to festivals to get awards and say we got Best Actor or Best. We don't care about that.
We're gonna be at Cannes next month. No big deal.
Well, yeah, we're gonna go apply to top tier festivals, but that's only for business purposes. But we made something with a message. We made something that about society in this movie. It's not just it's about people. All my films will have messages. They will not. There'll be entertainment in those films, and funny. A lot will be funny. This ain't that funny, but it's a little bit funny. But there's gonna be messages, and that's all I want to do is give out messages via entertainment.
That's really, really
there's
cool,
a higher
man.
purpose to this than just making a movie,
I love that. I love that so much, man. Because you after doing it long enough, you start to realize, wow, okay, there is easier, like better ways of doing things. When you start to work with people, sometimes you pick up from the people who do it right. But everybody wants to act like they got it all figured out, and everybody knows everything. And you realize, man, they're so full of shit. And you start to do it yourself and realize there's a real right way of doing this. When I met my girlfriend, the first night when I met her, she was a manager at a venue where I was doing a show, and she was so attentive and on the ball and ready to help. I was like, how refreshing is it to deal with people like this? Because and especially when it comes to doing movies and stuff like that. I mean, that is the nightmare of any artist, is getting these notes from the, production. It's a nightmare trying to do it. So I think something that people like Netflix and HBO are doing right now is get the right people to do it and go let them do it. Don't give them a bunch of notes. Don't give them this. Like, that seems to be, there's certain people who are getting that, and just hire them to do a good job and let them do it.
And that's why we shot this, because it's like, okay, we know we have the skill set. We know we have the actors, the crew. We're nobodies, but when they see this, they're gonna be like, "Wait a second, you shot that for what? Where?" That's our hoping that will be our goal. Whether it happens or not, we don't know, but that's our goal. And also, my character in this plays an Army Ranger sniper that suffers from PTSD. I wanted military to be a big part of this. I did American Legion Comedy Club, and I met one of these guys that suffers from that was running the place, and he used to be a cook back in the Army and all this stuff. I said, "You want to cook for us?" He goes, "Yeah." He goes, "How many people?" I go like 22, 25. He goes, "That's nothing." He goes, "Yeah, I'll cook." He came on board. He was one of the biggest MVPs. He did just more than cooking. He did so much. We actually put him in the movie.
I love it.
We kill him, but we put him in the movie.
But
that means we like you. If we kill you, we like you.
Yeah.
So he was such a big help, and Jeremy's a veteran. Jerry's a veteran. We had a couple other veterans. I had another actor who was a veteran. Sampha is. I was researching my character because I wanted to do it right. I wanted to make this look authentic as
and
possible.
respect what they've
Respect
been through,
what they do.
yeah.
I was researching. I watched a lot of documentaries on people suffering from PTSD, which is when I was writing the script. So their headspace is there. The mindset is there. So I started consulting with him. Really nice dude I met at a show. And he's actually a writer himself. And so we had to move a couple actors around because we lost one to COVID 3 days. One of our main actors 3 days before we even started.
Whoa.
So we were like, holy shit. My biggest fear came. He's still alive. Yeah, he's still alive.
Gee, you said you lost him to
I know, maybe I
COVID,
should've
bro.
said- yeah.
I'm like,
this should get out there. Yeah, we lost, but we can't.
You
have him
lost
on
him
set.
to the suit. Yeah. Okay, yeah. He didn't perish.
I know.
Okay,
I always
okay.
say that, don't I? We like.
We lost him.
No,
we lost him.
Yeah. Well, it was he was sick for a little bit, so I had to recast him with which I recasted him with an actor that was playing his initial role was just a small role because he was directing this thing, so he was in for 2 days of shoot. So we moved the other actor because he's from LA. He's a working actor. He's been in over 100 things. He could learn the dialogue and fit the role. So I had to move the character who was going to play my lieutenant, which was going to be him. He had to go to the other part. So the person I was consulting with, he's an actual vet, a sniper ranger. I said, hey, you want to play this vet in my movie? I'm like, you're perfect for it. He had the right temperament. He had the right, and he comes in and he crushes.
See, maybe that was the universe inflicting him with COVID, so you get.
And that's what I'm talking about. Happy accidents.
Yeah.
Like, Jerry would have been fine, and he'll even tell you he would have been fine in the role, but this guy brought it to another level, and he's in his own. Like you think this guy's, like when this guy's on screen, he's a killer. Like that guy's a killer, and he's on set, the nicest guy in the world. But this guy's a killer.
Yeah.
And we're like, we are working with a killer right now. You know, and we got to direct him.
What's kind of beautiful about that is you were able to put him in a position where he could his skill set could thrive because these guys come back from war, they're taught to do one thing, and when they come back home, you got to enter back into society. So you can give them this opportunity to kind of
one of the hardest workers in the film. Like took
cool.
his character seriously, came in, had notes.
That's cool. I love it.
Like it was amazing, and it'll show in the film. It's really interesting backstory.
Dude, that's so cool, man. It sounds like you guys had like a really cool experience putting this thing together, and you're still going through all the posts right now, right?
Yeah, we're editing. We were just editing today.
It's a lot of work, but I'm really looking forward to seeing that bad boy when it comes out, man. I mean, it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun. How do you guys feel? Like, do you feel like you need a break, or do you want to push through?
Let's push through.
How are you feeling, Pam?
Oh, yeah.
Keep going? All right, fuck it. We're gonna keep pushing through. Yeah, I think that this is infinitely fascinating to me. I think it's all very cool what you're doing, what you're trying, and like you said, how you were in this kind of tough spot in your life, and you were able to identify what was happening, make the correct change, and make your dreams pretty much come true. I mean, that's what it comes down to. And if it's not going to be, like you said, trying to get some other production company to fund it and this and that, you realize, okay, let's do it ourselves. And in doing it yourself, you find out all these things that are going to end up helping you like down the road. It's this beautiful kind of thing where the universe is just winking at you like every other day, and like you're on the right track. What's up?
One thing how you were saying that you couldn't even watch Scooby-Doo as a kid.
Yeah.
So the lead actress in our film is from LA. She's actually doing a pilot at the end of August, a Scooby-Doo pilot, and she's one of the main characters.
Oh my God, that's so funny.
I was just saying, that'd be funny. Now you can watch.
Oh, dude, yeah. Now, yeah, I think I'm allowed to watch now. I think.
Tammy, did you want to say something?
By his beautiful girlfriend Tammy is here, which
here's Tammy's character. This is funny because I met Tammy a few years ago and we started dating, and I told her, I said, first of all, I said, hey, do you want to go in debt with me? And she said, I do. And then so I said, do you really want? I go, this is what I do. I said, do you really want to be a part of this? And she's like, I do want to be a part of this. And I said, I have this.
What a great pickup line, by the way. Yeah. This is what I do. Are you sure you want to be an actress in my world?
Well, she's very good. She does a company called Arbonne, so she speaks with a lot of people and in front of a lot of people, and she's very, very good. And I had this character in this script that before I met her that I wrote was her. Like, she doesn't curse. She's wholesome. She's this and that, and the temperament of her. And I said, you have to play this character. I said, I could have 20 other actresses. I said, you're the character. This is you. All you have to do is be you in this character. So that's how we kind of got started in the process of making this film and her character. Do you want to say something?
I love it.
Yeah.
Look at her go. She's got the I Possess, and I like that she took the I Possess shirt and made it her own. She took the little top and the bottom off.
I'd love for you to share a little more about your mom's video store and stuff, and how did you want to be in front of people? You know, what was your perception as a kid and stuff? I always like hearing the backstories of how you got here.
Yeah, I said, well, the backstory of your parents, growing up siblings, and you very conveniently skipped over. I always feel like he's like, well, I got into.
I'll cut to what people really want to hear.
Yeah.
Hey, your parents owned a video store.
Yeah. Well, you can touch on it.
Yeah, no, they did, and I guess indirectly that could have led me to one way. I never thought about stand-up comedy. You see all these kids come out today that are 19, 18 that are doing stand-up, and you're like, I wish I would have thought I could be able to do it by then. I'd be so much different now. But no, I didn't start thinking about it till I was 25, or the year before I started doing it. I was like, oh, let me try it, because a friend backed out of an open mic. So I was like, oh, I'll do it, stupid. And then it just kind of got sucked in. But the movie thing, it's like we were shooting movies when we were kids, man, on little big old camcorders. Remember that?
I used to do stop motion Lego movies. That was.
Oh, did you? That's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool. I used to play with the Star Wars figures and put them all into a scene.
Same with Star Wars figures. Yep.
But never did a shot a movie with it. But we used to shoot movies when we were kids, We did a little remake of the Terminator, And I remember it was so corny or whatever.
Sean, can I have a beer? Sorry, Sean.
And we had this VHS tape, right? Those big VHS tapes. And our friend, we had all this footage on there. And our friend one day left it on the car, and we drove off. And we're like, you lost the tape. That was our lost footage of all the stuff we accumulated for a year.
Anybody who creates anything, you have a lost footage story.
Do we have a copy of it? How do you do a copy of VHS? What are you, a voodoo? What are you?
You put this bad boy on Laserdisc.
Yeah. What are you, a magician? So it was like we were doing that back then, and then the parents had the video store with the VHS, so I guess I was kind of always wanted to, but when you're not around it, you don't know. If you know, you can't be like, everybody wants to go, oh, I think I could do that, or I would like to do that. And it's like, how do you do it?
Yeah.
And so that's why it's like, how do you become the lead in your feature film? You fund it yourself. You write it yourself.
Yeah.
You want to put your friends in it. This is Jerry's first time directing a feature film. He killed it, but he wouldn't have directed a feature film for, who knows, a couple more years maybe. He would have, I threw him right into the fire.
Yeah.
I was like, no, you're directing this one.
Yeah.
And now he's going to be, people are going to snatch him up. When they see what he's done, that's my goal of this film.
That's a beautiful thing, man.
That everybody goes off and people see them from this film.
Yeah.
If it's going to happen, I don't know. Maybe I'm just spewing out whatever.
And what's crazy is that I just moved back from Los Angeles. And he actually, when I moved back here because of COVID, he was like, "Hey man, here's a script," and that's how it all started. So it was happy accident where it was. I moved back. I was filming a show down in Miami, and he's like, "Hey, here's my script," and we started talking about it.
That's happy.
Kind of steamrolled, man. It just
I'm happy to hear that. Obviously everybody's experienced this last year and a half a lot differently. And some people are thriving, some people are having a tough time. But I'm really, really happy to see anytime I hear somebody say, like, the worst thing happens and everything is shit, and you adapt and you create something that you're kind of unsure of, but you're like, this is the time, and it ends up being something. Now you actually have the time to do it, and you're actually able to create, like Pam with her book.
Yeah.
I mean, another good example of she was grinding, she was and still is. I'm trying to push her back into doing stand up again. So funny, but this, COVID thing gave her the opportunity to be like, hey, this thing that I started 40 years ago and I drew a little thing, why don't we make that happen and bring it into fruition? And you start to see that, okay, maybe that was kind of like a blessing in disguise, this little thing that happened that it took me to do what I'm actually supposed to do. Yeah. I was on the radio, and I love the radio, but furloughed and let go because of this whole thing, and blessing in disguise. I was able to spend more time on the podcast and voiceovers and doing the comedy shows and all these other things that I'm doing now. Whereas now I have opportunities to maybe get back in the radio, and I don't really think I even, because it doesn't pay really well.
That's great.
But happy accidents in the universe, like doing things that if you can kind of get on the right wavelength and flow with it, like find your purpose and ride it like a wave until kingdom come, man. Because like I think that is what really brings true happiness. People always find we adapt, right? We can find ways to be happy and like, you know what, I'm getting by, I'm happy, I got good friends, family. But there is something special that happens when you feel like you're living your purpose. And it seems like you both are doing that right now, which I think is fucking awesome.
It's still very stressful. I mean, we're broker than we've ever been.
Yeah. Mickey D's
we're
for
in
din
more
din.
debt than we've ever been.
We going Sizzler.
But you know what it is? It's like you can see the light. You see, and it doesn't matter. I'm broke. I have her. I have my health. I'm broke. We made something, but who like that it's like it doesn't really matter at the end.
Yeah.
That you I want to struggle with these people, you know what I'm saying? And hopefully and if it does go the opposite way and we are successful with this, I want to do it again.
Yeah.
I don't want to just stop there and buy a Lamborghini, I don't. It's not
Lambo time. Yeah, I get it. I get it. Well, that shows you what you're doing. You really love, and see, that's how they get radio people. It's like you're doing what you love, and like you can make jack shit money, but you get to do what you love. So it's like that's how they kind of get you. And once you get to the point where you're really good and you're worth the money, then they fire you because they can't afford to pay you that much, and they get the next person in line who's willing to do everything for free. So very interesting though. I like that. You had something else to say?
I was just gonna say, Carl wrote a whole nother script during COVID too, so it's so cool. He has like.
So you got the next
ready
project?
to go.
Well, that's the thing, because we have to have if we do get noticed and people come up to us or whatever, they're gonna be like, "What else you got?"
Yeah, you're right about that.
And you gotta have. They're all not. They're finished, but they can always be tweaked. You're never done writing it, but they're there and they're good stories.
I love it. I love it. Oh. That's so cool, man. I'm really proud of you guys. Like I've seen you, I've seen how you've been posting everything, and I'm like, that's just it's inspirational to others too, and even people like whatever they're doing in life. You could be, a janitor. It doesn't matter. You're like, okay, I'm gonna do this shit the right way, fucking,
And I didn't post to brag about anything. I posted.
I know you didn't. The wrong people think that, and don't worry about them, dude. That's I live that life. Don't worry about it.
It wasn't a brag. It was like a surreal moment whenever I did, when I was like, because there was a couple times when I was on set and I'm like, I put this all together. Like, not that we all had something to do with it, but initially the core, it started with me getting all these people to know each other, and even though some people brought some people, but I was like, I see this beautiful location we're at that we're staying at for a month. This farmhouse. It's like, wow. I couldn't have built a better set. Like what we paid for was like, I would have paid double now that I think about it. Like I can't believe I got it for only that much, and it was still expensive. But it was like,
it's the universe winking at you.
Yeah,
buddy.
it was like to stay. And then I was like, I gotta post it. I gotta have this somewhere where I'll see it again, because I want to remind me that don't take this for granted. So I just posted a whole bunch of stuff. So if it pops up in my memories, I'll be like, that's right. If we're down the road somewhere going, don't forget that.
Yeah,
that moment.
I like that. Okay, so you did say that how long have you been sober?
I'm one of those. I'm writing a bit where how sober people are really annoying. They're the most annoying. It's like, dude, just have a drink. Relax, bro. But it's been 23 months, 7 days, 4 hours. Like, we don't care. Around 8 years, I don't.
It's so
I don't.
mean
I
and
don't
funny.
have like a day where I'm like, this is day 2. This is day. It's about 8 years. I think it was the end of 2012.
Okay. Let me ask you this before you get too much into that. I wanted to ask Pam this too, because look, Pam's a closet freak, obviously. Look at her. Have either of you done psychedelics?
LSD.
LSD back in the day?
Like gel tabs. But
gel
nothing,
tabs.
yeah.
Did that do any, like, what about you, Pam? You do any kind of...
I tried mescaline twice.
Okay. Damn,
you know
Pam.
I used to.
Isn't that heroin? What is that?
It's like mescaline. Went deep in the paint, Pam.
I was like, the thing about it was in college, which was in the late 60s.
Yeah.
So,
I
mean,
would have
what
loved to
else
have been
would
there
I,
with you.
would I do? You know, and everyone had pot or whatever it's called.
Grass,
whatever. And the best part is that I never had to pay for any of it.
Of course, because you're a woman.
That's
Jeez.
right. Somebody said, you want to try this?
today.
Sure, why not?
So yeah, okay, interesting. Yeah, I just thought like maybe that, because oftentimes when I meet people who are in any type of entertainment or whatever, they kind of oftentimes will have some sort of experience that will unlock this thing in their brain that says it's just do it. Like, because often all of us as human beings, it's like don't do that. You're not LeBron James, dude. We're not all Beyonce, and we're right in thinking that, but it all comes from unless you have that belief in yourself to even try. And like I said, it doesn't matter if it's entertainment, anything in life. Sometimes I just find it an interesting topic because it's been a long time since last time I did, I got feedback like, you're good, like this is enough. You've learned what you can for now, and maybe take a couple-year break. It's been several years since I ever tried, but I do think that sometimes I look back at those experiences. There are some of the most profound experiences in my life where it gave me perspective, where I was like, you know what? Fuck it, I'm gonna try and do this. Beforehand, I was so scared, just being like, especially coming from a Jehovah's Witness background, and I'm like, I don't think that I can do this because the whole thing back in the day, like being a witness, is like you're gonna bring reproach upon Jehovah's name if you say something wrong. So I was scared that I would say something and people would hear it in equivalent, and it would be associated with the religion, and then I'm bringing bad name to the religion and godness. It was like all these weird things I had to fight against. And then you kind of get a little perspective, and it helped me personally just to kind of get outside of that a little bit and realize, you know what? You can do whatever the hell you want in this life. Everybody's acting like they got it all figured out. Nobody's got it figured out, okay? Zero, as a matter of fact, got it figured out. So go do your thing, make your little impression on this planet, whether it is like like no matter what the job. I know everybody think, oh, you have to be in entertainment. When I say this, it's not that at all. That happens to be what we're into, but no matter what it is in life, like, find that purpose, ride it like a wave until kingdom come, and try and just do your best to live the most authentic version of yourself you can.
Like doing this, I can't even enjoy movies anymore. Like I don't want to.
I wonder how they shot that. Like that was weird.
Exactly. I'm looking at every frame.
I saw a boom mic.
I'm looking at why'd they cut it like that. Interesting. It's like, so it's like I don't. Like, do you want that? Like, I want to be the guy that just sits on the couch and eats chips and doesn't care that I'm going to a show. Like, I don't want to have that, I have to be funny tonight. Or, like, if I'm having a bad day, like, oh, I got to be funny or whatever. I'm like, would it be easier to be that guy, that's maybe at the show enjoying himself? You know how hard it is to make a comedian laugh these days? It's like, right? It's like,
and even when or not we, because I'm not we, but like when people do comedy or whatever, you could say something to us and we'd be like, I'll steal this from Conan. He's like, that might be one of the funniest things I ever heard. That's hilarious. Like, you don't get
right,
and like you have to find those moments, and it can often be the goofiest thing that'll actually make you laugh or whatever,
and
or
it's
highbrow.
Like comedies don't make me laugh or happy. But writing it does. You know what I'm saying? But telling it, going, oh, these are in my brain, going, this is boring to me. I can't believe these people are laughing at this. Like, I've had those moments, where it's like, why? it's a weird thing to want to create. I feel like you don't get the fulfillment of enjoying sometimes.
That's where it takes that perspective and ability to be able to kind of step outside it and realize, because you don't want to be that guy who's in the middle of everything and living this, or woman living this life, and good things are happening, and then you just can't appreciate it until it's too late and be like, man, I wish that I was a little more present during all those times. Jason's got a question.
Hey guys. Pam, I think you are very young and talented, okay? But I think, with all due respect, you're not the normal age, I would say, of most comedians. So what really made you want to get into comedy this kind of later in life?
Well, how do you know when I started?
I bring that up because he said the 2015 is when you got the...
Or
No. I actually started in the 90s, too. Okay. But you are correct. I was 47. So that is older than most people start. I don't want to derail what you were talking about. Are you done? Please. Okay. So what happened was my dad and his twin brother were musicians. And we have tons of pictures of them when they were in the Army in twin bands. And they incorporated comedy into their musical act when they did duet shows. So my uncle, Walter, who you've heard about already, was, and I'll tell you something about him and it'll all tie together. He did a comedy album, and he started performing like at his senior citizen places. And I mean, that's not when I started, but that's when I saw him lately. But he was doing comedy more than my dad. But they're twins, and so I guess it was kind of the same genes, and I was always interested. And then I took a class and never looked back, as they say.
I love that.
Now, my uncle, one time I did a show with him, and afterward he said, you know what you should say at this point or that point? And he gave me like a tip of a line to use. And I'm like, oh, I like that. Did you write it? And he looked at me with disgust, like, why would you even, why would you care? Why would you bother? And I'm just like, he probably didn't write any of his material. And so I'm just like, I found out after I was already hooked that my uncle was a total hack and that he just didn't write any of his own stuff. But in our family, my dad and my brothers and I, and my uncle and his kids, the main emphasis was to be funny. They didn't care what you did for a living, how successful, whatever. They just want to make sure that everybody was funny. So whenever we got together, it was the challenge of who could make everybody laugh. And I didn't even realize till later, but they said that I was the one who always made everyone laugh. And so that made me feel good that I had a good audience growing up.
It's funny, not to interrupt really quick, when I first found out, first made my family laugh, and I was like, oh, I might actually, we're driving up North Carolina, and my dad was driving around this hotel parking lot, and we were trying to find the spot. I forget, he was trying to find his way out of the parking lot. And in this one section of the parking lot, it says, please come back soon. And we drove by it 3 times. And when we went by it the last time, my mom read it out loud, said, please come back soon. I was like, don't worry, we will be. And my whole family started cracking up. I couldn't have been more than 7 or 8 years old. And I was like, ooh, that felt good. Making people laugh. Yeah, it makes you feel good. And you realize that your family that's a good currency to use within the family or whatever.
That's interesting you remember that. I don't remember being a kid. I remember I don't know why. I don't remember a lot. I killed a lot of brain cells, so I don't remember a lot. Like if something will come up, I'll pinpoint it occasionally.
Not taking
but
ketamine and mescaline or mescaline like this one or whatever. Yeah. Just twice. I'm just playing.
But I remember this one kid. He was the funniest kid. I thought he had like a cleft lip, tall kid, but he cracked me up every single day. I go, dude, you're the funniest person. And he looks at me and goes, dude, you're the funniest person I've ever met. And I was like, what?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so weird. Like, I was like, I didn't know what he meant by that. So I don't remember that I was funny as a little kid. But when he said that, I was like, that's amazing. And he was serious. I'm like, interesting.
That's cool.
I remember that. And I remember in typing class, so I told Tammy one time that I was never trying to, I had these group of girls in there that I would always make laugh. I had there was 5 or 6 that I'd finish early. I was getting really good. Those big typewriters?
Oh, hell.
Yeah, back. But I was really good at it. So I wanted to finish as quick as I could so I can get the group going and just whatever, just make them all laugh. Not that I wanted to hook up or anything. It was just they were laughing at anything I said.
You just had this react like, this is good.
Yeah.
Yes, good.
So that was like, it was like, I just remember that, but I don't remember being funny in high school. Nobody was ever like, oh, that's the kid that was funny. It was like I was playing football. I wasn't like trying to be funny.
But that's oftentimes like the people who aren't trying that. They are naturally funny. They don't even realize it, and you're like, dude, you're actually really, really, really funny. You have to kind of talk your.
Yeah, it's interesting.
So often that happens with comedians. It's like very rarely it's completely on their own volition that they get into stand-up. It's somebody being like, you have to try, or some sort of,
that pushes them along.
Exactly. Really quick before we get too far in, we were going to take a break, but I'm not going to take a break. I just wanted to introduce everybody and anybody who doesn't know Lilli Schipper, who is one of our official sponsors. And Lilli Schipper, like I said, badass in the real estate market down here in South Florida. Would you mind coming up and just waving at the camera and saying hi to everybody in the microphone, telling everybody that's Lilli Schipper? And if you need any help, get on the microphone for a second. Just let everybody know how they can find you, what you do, where you work in South Florida, all that good stuff. That's Lilli Schipper, everybody.
I'm so used to just being.
Get up on that mic, girl.
Oh my God, can we hear me?
You can push it down. There you go.
There we go. I'm so used to being in the audience. And again, thanks for all coming out. And I love that this is going on in Dania Beach.
Yeah.
I'm born and raised in Hollywood. I service mostly Fort Lauderdale, Hollywood, and Dania. You can find me on social media, Lilli Schipper with an SCH, as you pointed out. Yeah, I've been in real estate 17 years, sold close to 100 million, and yeah.
Close to 100 mil in sales. Damn, girl.
Over 250
Jason's
transactions.
over there. Her husband's like, yeah, buddy.
Yeah.
That's
I'm happy to sponsor all the mental reps and hope to see everybody at future shows.
Yeah, I love it. Tomorrow night, Shamrock Comedy Club right here on this stage. I love it. Yeah, no, Lilli has been a huge supporter. She came to the very first Mental Reps podcast, like unsolicited. She came and we met afterwards, and she's been a huge supporter. So thank you so much, Lilli, for coming out. And yeah, if you guys want, you can follow us. I'm at BMW on air. Call Rimi and Pam Bruno on all the social medias. Give us a follow. Mental Reps Podcast, we got a Patreon page up right now. If anybody wants to go and contribute to that, we really appreciate that. And again, shout out to The Field and Lilli for being our awesome sponsors here. MentalReps.net, you can go and find some merch. We got some t-shirts, face masks, all that good stuff. And the podcast is always going to be free, but those are ways that you can help contribute. Go get some merch, go contribute to the Patreon page, and we really appreciate that. Like I said, I've got Shamrock Comedy Club coming up tomorrow night, and all that good stuff. What I wanted to do really quick before I get in towards the end of the show here, I asked you guys a couple questions. We got Mental Reps questionnaire, but what are your goals for this year, maybe going into next year? What are some things that you have on the horizon that you're trying to do, or that you would like to do and you're pushing for? Because everybody has to have something to look forward to and goals and something to pursue in life. I feel pretty strongly about that. It's always good to have something to look forward to and push for. So is there anything in particular that are you looking forward to getting back on stage or writing more? Are you again, you got your other script that you're getting prepped for the next one. So what are your guys' goals within the next year or so?
Oh, you don't know. Okay.
That's okay. I mean, I know I'm putting you on the spot right now. Well, listen, I could tell you, Pam's just, she doesn't even need. She's already a badass, so she's like, yeah, what do I need to fucking do? She's
yeah, well, you gotta get back on stage.
Please get back on stage, Pam. Please. Look at her. She's saying
Tomorrow night.
Tomorrow night, 5 minutes, right up top. I'm just saying, you don't have to.
I'll cut mine 5 for you. How's that? Huh?
I'll think about it.
Okay, that's all I wanted to hear. At least you're gonna think about it.
I have to just say one thing, and this is why I stopped drugs and drinking and carousing. No, I don't even know what that means.
How dare you, Pam?
Carousing.
How dare you?
Carousing.
It's an awful big word.
It's in here. No, it's not.
I bet it is.
That's a great word, carousing.
I know, it is good.
Sophisticated.
Is that I learned transcendental meditation in 1971.
Ooh.
And I'm going to say, I have started so many things, like I started karate, I started all these self-improvement, and the only one that I have kept doing for all these years is TM.
It's a Seinfeld,
and I would
does
say, yeah, he does. Seinfeld, Oprah, Dr. Oz, I don't know. Anyway, so the thing is...
That's how you want your poop to look. Every time I think of Dr. Oz, he's talking about how he wants people's poop to look. Sorry, go ahead. I derailed you. I'm sorry, Pam. That was not meant to derail you like that.
I wonder if my poop looks good enough for Dr. Oz. So anyway, the thing is, I feel like it has saved my life in a lot of ways. And I got recertified to teach it again because while my mom was not well, I was looking after her for almost 20 years. So now I'm a certified teacher of TM. The thing about it
I didn't know that.
is I don't know what you're doing.
Oh, thank you,
there
man.
You go. We didn't get to pose properly. So that is not an ad, but I think over the past year and a half, it has helped me to make good use of this time, because I should have been in that movie because it was all an inward journey, and I had to come face to face with a ton of demons. And I think a lot of people grew up with trauma that they didn't even know they had, because parents don't know that, like we all know, there's no manual that tells you how to be a good parent. And they might say something that will affect you the rest of your life without you knowing it. And so the reason I'm saying it is that I feel like my book was a cry for help. No, because the thing is, I'm just realizing certain things that do not have to be true anymore. And in the book, and in my comedy, I'm sort of like this loser type, this sad person that nothing works out for. And during COVID, I don't know why, but I just kept feeling, you gotta finish that book, for whatever reason. And so even when I have a job and all this other stuff, when I was thinking, I want to quit my job, whatever, just finish the book. And I don't know why, but like you finished a movie, people say to me, you finished a book. Why don't you take a moment and enjoy that? And so whatever happens with it, I don't know. And I already have some ideas for more, but do you know how much work it takes to draw a cartoon, and then you submit the whole book, and then you see a mistake? Then you have to redraw the cartoon and resubmit the whole book, which means you have to scan the whole thing all over. I did that 10 times with this book.
Wow.
So by the end of it, I was like, I need a nap. And so, as you say in the book a lot.
There's somebody that you wanted to meet that I wanted to bring. There's this in particular gentleman that you're pretty fond of that you wanted to meet.
Well, if anybody knows how I can meet David Sedaris, because when I met him on stage, we got to bring our books to him to have him sign it. And I had requested that he write, "Dear Pam, good luck with your comedy career." And he wrote, I look forward to reading your book. And so that was 15 years ago. And so I just want to send him my book and say, look, I did it for better or worse. Here it is.
I love it. We're going to make that happen for Pam, by the way. That's just like a no-brainer. We're going to definitely make that happen for you. I think that we can do that. We have the technology nowadays.
Yeah, I heard.
Yeah.
We can reach out, Instagram, Facebook,
Well, I
let them know what the
sent him a
deal
letter on
is.
Instagram. I wrote him an email. We'll see. But
Well, we're going to get to the bottom
yeah,
of it.
I think you can do it.
All right. No, man, we're definitely going to make that happen. I love it. I just have to point and emphasize, I'm so proud of you both. Like, you know, for having this idea and coming out with a movie and a book, and you guys make these things come to fruition. I think it's a beautiful thing.
That's the thing with a book. Like, that's a book.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think I could ever write a book.
Well,
You know what I'm saying?
I mean,
like,
I don't think I could write a real book.
and
but
go,
I mean-
no, that's a real book. It's published and everything. Listen, when I got off the ships, I won't forget this. I was doing a club. And
With no context, that would sound really funny. Sorry, go ahead. When I got off the ships.
So my buddy Maurice came up to me, and I hadn't seen him in years, you know, since probably even before the ships. And I was like, hey, it's great to see you. He's like, cool. Yeah, man, I have a book. So he had a book, a physical book. So I thought that was I was like, what do since I saw him, I have nothing to, like, that was the coolest thing in my mind.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't have cirrhosis of the liver, you know, like I got away scot-free with that, you know, but that's like all I had to offer to that conversation. I'm like, I haven't done anything that I'm proud of. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, and I'm like, you did a book.
Yeah, that's cool.
And
You know
not
what,
that people
though?
have to write a book. You could have a kid. You could, you
Yes.
know,
Right.
or fucking make a lantern. I don't know. You
Yeah.
know, like a homemade
process
lantern.
Make
feels
something
like-
out of clay.
But you did it, and
It's-
like
it
it's
is
like I
your
didn't
baby.
do anything. I
And
never
the-
did anything, and I
Well,
see
now
somebody
you
write
have.
a book. That's why I admire anybody who can write a book. You know.
I love it.
Well, like with the book, the movie, it is like a baby. And once it's out there, you're sensitive because you don't want people to hate your baby. And the thing about, I was more scared to click publish on this than I was to perform at a show because, like Carl was saying, the show's over, people go home and they totally forget about you. But you put this in their hand,
It's on paper.
and they've got it, and they like, oh, that sucks, or this is like, you know what I mean? And so it's like,
Yeah. And people.
I don't think
more
anybody's
sensitive.
doing that with your book
No,
for the record.
people are gonna
Pam.
hate your baby. Like it's
They might.
exactly. People
You
are
think
gonna
your
hate our
baby's
film.
cute, your baby's
Right.
ugly. That's
There's
just
people-
it's not for everyone.
and every like I mean, there's everything has hate. You know, like
This
there's
is true.
There's dislikes on puppy videos,
and you
know,
can't
like,
be too vanilla. You go
Yeah.
up.
Who are
baby
those
videos.
people?
Why is there 19 dislikes?
Yeah,
Like,
what the hell,
Who's
man?
Who are
mad at
those
this baby?
people?
Sorry. No, but that just goes to show you can't be like, you know, too vanilla. Nobody's gonna care. And it's good to stand up for something, or else you'll fall for anything, sort of shit. You know,
Yeah.
so do your thing, and that's great. I've really enjoyed this. I got the mental reps questionnaire. That it's just a couple of like, you know, it's like lightning round. You can take as long as you want to answer them, but you know, don't overthink it. I got a couple of questions for you guys, and we're gonna get you out of here. All right, this is the mental reps questionnaire. Oh no, that's not what we want. This is what we want.
Pop quiz, hot shot. Why so serious? What's in the box?
What does Marcellus Wallace look like?
What do you mean funny? Funny how? How am I funny?
Answer the question, Claire.
Are you telling me that you built a time machine out of a DeLorean?
You want answers. I want the truth. You can't handle the truth.
Is Darth Vader my father? For real, B? I want answers.
Without a good question, a good answer has no place to go. It's time for the mental reps questionnaire.
First off, shout out to Travis who's listening online. Shout out to my man Travis. All right, question. First off, we can start with Pam. If you could meet anyone, current or historical, and spend the day picking their brain, who would it be? The guy you just talked about?
Okay, I'll go with him.
Or no, yeah. Do you
No,
have anybody else?
I mean, because I couldn't think of anyone else.
Anybody else you really admire?
Another question that I saw in there.
Yeah. We're gonna get to that.
Okay. I guess David Sedaris, and he'll go, well, I'm teaching a master class. Why don't you take it? And I'm like, fuck you. Oh, I'm sorry.
I got Pam to say fuck. Yay.
The kids are gone.
He's gonna
I can sleep tonight.
He's going to edit it out.
Pam said fuck.
He's
Okay,
going to
sorry.
edit that out, and also black dick.
Black
2 points.
dicks.
You have to take it out. All right.
So Sedaris. All right. What about you, Carl?
Elvis Presley.
Oh,
easily. People don't. Yeah, it's he. I grew up like I was either Beatles or Elvis, but I was all Elvis. Like I remember when he died in '77, and I was only like 4 or I don't even know 4 or 5.
You're crying in your blue suede
But they had
shoes?
an all-night Elvis marathon, and I told my mom, I said I want to stay up and watch that, and she let me, and I was in bed by 9:30. I was asleep by 9:30, but I remember that like I idolized him. I watched all his movies, and
that level of fame is hard to comprehend.
yeah. As a kid, I wanted to be that. Like I don't know what he was. That now, not so much anymore. Like I don't really think about it, but I remember, and I just remember what a good actor he really was. If you really look at his films and you really break it down, and he was offered some big roles, but his manager wouldn't let him do it. But
well, you know the history of him and everything as well. Yeah.
So, but
okay,
it's
I like that.
if you really watch his acting. Peace out, man. Are you gonna work?
Oh, say it one more
going to
time.
edit?
I gotta go home.
Yeah. All right, buddy.
Wife's
Thank you for
calling.
coming.
My wife's
The-
calling me.
The director's
He's
leaving.
got to edit.
Yeah. Go edit, man. Get that movie ready for us.
Great job. Yeah. Thanks for
man.
having us on.
Thank you, buddy. Thank you for coming.
Cool. Thanks, brother.
Nice to meet you. Thank you, Jeff.
Hey. Oh, great job, Pam. That was awesome.
I love
can't wait
it.
to read your book.
All right, let's push through. We're going to power through to the next one.
Just Elvis, great actor.
I love it. Elvis, that's a great answer. If you had a round trip ticket in a time machine, when and where would you go, Pam?
Actually, I would go back to the 60s because I don't feel like I took full advantage of that time and enjoyed it. But it was fun, but I was just, coming out of teens. So
It's a couple mescaline
was-
experiences, but not enough.
I don't know. It was like a time for everybody to question the thinking of the generation before. And I was doing that, but I wasn't as conscious of it at the time, so I didn't appreciate it as much.
Okay. I like that. What about you, Carl? If you had a round trip ticket in a time machine, when and where would you go?
Dude, early 1900s, man. Old West. And it's just
A Wild Wild
and
West.
see where, and
That's
like,
cool.
And try
Jesse
not to die,
James.
try not to get killed,
Yeah.
but I would just want to see it.
I like
see,
that little
yeah.
Westworld action,
yeah.
the real life. Okay, I like that. If you had one superpower, what would it be, Pam?
I have thought a lot about this. There is, for one, flying, but that's easy. The other one is invisibility. And I thought, if you are invisible, do your clothes become invisible too? Because if you do not want people to see you, but you have these clothes moving around, then it's pretty good chance they will know that there's a person in those clothes.
You got to be buck naked.
But then if you're naked and then you become visible, then you're there with no clothes. So
You're in a
it's
conundrum there, either way.
It's a tough choice.
But invisibility, yeah, okay. I like.
Yeah.
That's also the creep's choice as well. Any creepy guy,
Oh, yeah.
like invisibility.
That's the perverts, right.
Yeah.
Okay, well, the thing about it, the reason for me, when you get to be older, you're pretty much invisible anyway.
How dare
But
you.
The thing,
Pam, you stop it,
Hey,
Pam.
I'm just saying, after you've had enough doors slammed in your face,
Wow.
when they used to hold them open, you get used to, okay, now I'll just stand back a little so I catch the door myself.
How dare
You adapt. That's all right.
Okay. All right. What about you? You had a superpower, Carl. What would it be?
Wolverine.
Oh,
Yeah.
adamantium.
Yeah.
Like, okay, I
And
like
then I'd learn how
that.
to
Indestructible,
fight.
self-healing. Yeah, okay, I like that.
Yeah.
Okay, this one is a good one for both you guys. I like this one, this question. If you could create a Woodstock-type music festival featuring 5 acts from any era or genre, what would they be?
Wow.
And don't I know that everybody, you're going to be like, oh, I forgot that one when you're sleeping tonight. Don't worry about it. It's just think 5 off the top of your head acts that you really love that you'd like to.
Yeah, I mean, going from the past to the people
Any
are
genre, any time.
Well, of course, Elvis, obviously. And then we're going to go hard. Fit for a King, 5-Finger Death Punch.
Oh, okay. 5-Finger Death Punch, how dare you?
A War of Ages, and I'm just thinking about the ones I'm listening to now. And definitely Tool. And I guess that's fine. Yeah, but they're heavy. They're heavier metal.
They're not Motown.
Yeah,
no.
Which I do have some heavy. I have some heavy metal in this movie, but I also have some '80s kind of rock.
I like that. I like that. I like that. What about you, Pam? What are some of your favorite musical acts?
I forgot to mention that my parents owned bars, so I grew up listening to black music in the bars. And
Motown,
so I
right?
would say maybe before.
Oh,
like
okay.
Jesse Belvin. This is before Nat King Cole, Arthur Prysock. These are just
deep
like
references. I like that. I like that. Were you ever a Frankie fan? You like old Blue Eyes?
I like some of his things. His voice was incredible.
Uh-huh.
I heard that he used to practice swimming underwater for a really long time so he could hold the notes.
Breath control, yeah. Smart guy.
I don't know who else. I mean,
all right, that's fine. If given the opportunity to choose, what would be your last meal, Pam?
My last meal. I'm vegan, so that gets made fun of a lot. Mashed potatoes.
Well, you're in the right place for that. You're in an Irish pub, so we can get on that. Yeah, we can get on that tip.
I don't know. Mashed potatoes. I'll just
You don't
end
like
up
that
with
question?
Mashed potatoes.
Carl looks like he's got one loaded up.
Oh, big old. If I'm gonna die, big old cheeseburger.
Yeah.
Like,
There
you're gonna
you go.
kill me
That'll
anyway.
You an In-N-Out guy? You an In-N-Out guy?
No, we don't. I don't.
Five
really
Guys?
No, we eat pretty clean, but if I had to go out and stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, this one, Carl might really like this. If you, who would you want to play you in a movie?
Shoot. I don't know.
You like that?
Yeah, that's a tough. Right now. I don't know. Come back to me for a second.
All right, what about you, Pam?
I can't think of any names.
Betty White. I'm kidding.
Oh, hell yes.
Betty White.
That's what I was hoping you would say.
That's not
She
fair
couldn't
because
play
she's
you.
like 30 years older than me. So it's
Helen
like,
Mirren? Huh?
Okay. You mean when I'm older? These are all people who are older
Helen
than me.
Mirren is,
Isn't she almost 80?
is she really? She's
I don't
looking
know.
pretty good.
I don't know. Whatever, I'll take it because they're good actors, but, I would say, growing up, I would have picked somebody,
Sophia Loren.
could have.
Anne Margaret.
She's 75. There you go.
Huh? Helen Mirren is
Thanks.
75. Thank you,
She's
Mindy.
a little older, not much.
All right. Carl, you still thinking over there?
I'd say Tom Cruise if
There you go.
Of
if he was younger.
course,
That would
dude.
work. That would work.
We were just watching.
He'll do all my stunts.
We were just watching A Few Good Men last night, and the
he's so
scene,
good.
the scene with him.
He's great.
Oh my God! When you can't handle the truth,
Oh,
it's just,
wow.
you can't help but not get sucked into that bad boy.
Yeah, he's a real good actor,
I
and
like
people
that.
don't see
I
that.
could see him doing that.
Yeah, I like that.
Playing.
Okay. If you had the world's attention for 15 seconds, what would you say, Pam? This is the last one. Because I know you have, like, this is the thing. It would be hard, and don't feel too much pressure. It could just be something very general. But I know that you have a lot of wisdom to share. It doesn't have to be profound. It could just be something simple.
The main thing would be, and this is something I try to do, is keep listening to that voice inside and follow it the best you can. Just you're the one who knows what's best for you.
Way to go. I like that. I like that, Pam. That's actually really wise. What about you, Carl?
Man, I have nothing really profound. The only thing I would say is just whenever anybody's out or doing something, think about another person and how they're affected by your actions. That's it.
That's you. Golden rule, man. Golden rule. I love it. It's pretty basic. How do you feel? How do you guys feel about it? Do you think we covered anything? Is there anything else that you want to go over before we wrap this up?
good.
Any more questions from the crowd? I really appreciate you guys coming here and coming out. I'm so glad that we got to introduce you to a few more people. This is going to be released later in the week. And so we're going to get some more people on, people checking out the book and waiting for that movie to come out, and people were waiting on the edge of our seats, man.
Yeah.
Come on.
You guys, I want you there because I want you to give a nice a review.
Of course.
It doesn't have to be nice. We're gonna. It's so funny because
I'm normally scared, but I like
a lot
this
of people. I'm not gonna do make everybody go put a 10 review. Nothing's a 10. I get it. Like I don't want a fistful of 10 because my family rated it. I want it all organic. Like for
wholeheartedly agree.
That's
the
what
way
we're
to
gonna
go.
do with this film. There's
That's
not
the way
gonna
to
be
go.
any of that.
Cool.
So that's what I'm gonna invite for you to come in and.
I love it. I'm looking forward to it, man.
And and I'm a comic, so I can take criticism.
All right,
got
cool,
thick
man.
Skin.
Try and find a part for me in your next movie. That's all I gotta say.
yeah.
Me and Pam, we're waiting,
That's
dude.
right.
Come
We're
on,
waiting.
find a part for us.
We're waiting.
All right, dude, I love it. Okay, well, I always end with a quote of the week. This one's from Doreen Virtue. It's not enough just to dream of your ideas. You've got to take action and bring about their creation. I think both of you are great examples of how to do that. Follow all of us on social media if you can. Brian Wright, Carl Rimi, Pam Bruno, and Mental Reps Podcast. Subscribe, do all that stuff. The Patreon page is up. The podcast is always going to be free, but you can buy some merch on mentalreps.net. Go to the Patreon page. That's how you can contribute. Mentalreps.net again is the website. And where can everybody follow? You have a website called Rimi or?
I would just go to iPossessed.com.
iPossessed.com.
Yeah, that's for the movie, and then iPossessed on Instagram.
On
and
Amazon. Why wait? Laugh now. This is the book. Everybody, go and buy this book right now. It's very reasonably priced. You're absolutely going to get lots of bang for your buck when you get this bad boy. And
also,
it's great.
I have a website.
Okay.
PamBruno.com.
Okay, Pam. We see you out here on the interwebs, Pam. PamBruno.com. And you're all in the Mental Reps family now. Thank you all so much for coming out and supporting us. I really appreciate you guys. And, we do this once a month here at the Field. Tomorrow night, we're going to have Shamrock Comedy Club. Carl Rimi is going to be here on the stage performing. You're not going to want to miss that. So please come out next week, or tomorrow night, I should say. We're going to be back next month for another one of these. Thank you all so much for coming out. Mental Reps Live, another one in the books. We're out.